Good evening, everyone. It's a very controversial trial tonight, right? So it really is a very controversial trial that happened at Liverpool Assizes St George's Hall back in 1951. Very controversial. But before I go into it, our Francine, my daughter, she doesn't even know because she hasn't been in touch with me today. And she did just only a little bit of shopping, to get over, the last couple of days, even today. And till I do my shopping tomorrow, before Easter. Anyway, she came in, she said, "Hey, how's that?" I said, "Oh, thanks, babe." She said, "I got you a nice little surprise." So I said, "Oh, thanks." I said, "Oh, thanks." So anyway, she said, "Yeah." And she knows that I like those chunky Kit Kats. Chunky Kit Kats. So anyway, I said, "Ah, oh, thanks." So after the history show with Anthony last night, I always have a cup of tea and whatever. And I seen it. I said, "Oh, I think I love that." Me too. So anyway, I took it, opened the wrapper, and I looked at it, and it was dead hard, went like that. I went, "It's hard, this." So bitter. Took me tooth. It took me tooth. And if you remember the last time I had to, like, when I had an operation, and whatever they throw in your mouth, because I had an emergency, I was dying, and they threw whatever it is in my mouth, and they hit me tooth, my front tooth. And whatever they put in my mouth. And then a few weeks later, well, not a few weeks, a couple of months later, my tooth was loose. And that was the problem. But whatever they did, because I've got strong teeth. Did have. And finally came out. So I had no dentist. Unfortunately. So I had to go private. And it cost me 660 quid plus another 50 odd for something I had to get done. So that was just over 700 quid. And it's going to be the same again. My problem, well, I think everyone's problem over a certain age, I think it should be free. I think it should be free to get this done, rather than me paying out another 700 quid, because that's what it'll cost. I think it's shocking myself. I'm feeling sorry for myself, to be honest. So you won't get many smiles, just as well that we've got, a very controversial trial tonight. Not much laughing. Not much laughing. And it's the way it is, to be honest. Oh, that's great. I just got to answer this to Jason. Jason said, "Don't smile too much." So I said, "Okay." No, he didn't. Anyway, let's say hello to whoever's there who's joined us. And that's Christopher. Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. And I found the slides you need to check your. Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. What a man. Jay, thank you so much. I was worrying. Anyway, that's by the by. Jason's safe today. Thank you, Jay. Toscana. Oh, I'll have to bring Anthony on because he only moans at me. He's always moaning. He's always moaning about Jason. He's always moaning about me. So I'm going to add him. And there he is. Evening.
I am not moaning. I am researching. And
I've done it. It's done. It's done for me.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I've been down that mine, up that mountain, round that.
Are you moaning?
I'm not moaning.
You know? Terrible moaning.
If you're happy and you know where to stamp your feet.
If he had a bit of chewy, I'd just stick it there. Stick it there. Right in the front of all things, you know, right in the front.
If you were a smoker, you could blow fantastic smoke rings with that, you know. Smoke rings that look like Humphrey Bogart.
Well, do you know the way, like, you could do rings? Well, with this, you could do squares. Anyway, let's see.
You've got to laugh.
Lovely Toscana says, Franco and Chatter's big match tonight. I'm not sure. Not sure. I'm that confident. Nah, we'll get through. We'll get through. Believe me. Gennaro. Your two souls seated. Don't be worrying. Toscana.
Yeah.
And Christopher says, you're right, it should be free, Frank. Thank you, Christopher. Christopher says, don't be getting drunk in your green room.
Chance would be a fine thing, Christopher. I've drank all the grouse.
Yes, the grouse is ready. And Toscana says, I did the same, biting a block of Parmesan cheese, felt a right divvy telling the dentist, hi, Anthony, says Toscana.
Hey, Toscana.
Biting Parmesan cheese. Oh, that is hard.
I have broke lots of my teeth biting nuts. And that's...
And Phil says, hi everyone, Frank. Hi everyone, Frank. Everyone at the like button. Thank you, Phil. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you. And Christopher, hi Anthony. What do you think of the new Paul McCartney album?
I haven't even listened to it yet, Christopher. I have got everything he's ever done, and my one disappointment was the last album he did, McCartney 3, which I thought he was trying to be someone else. McCartney is a genius, and if he just stays at being Paul McCartney, fantastic forever. But I will listen to it.
I don't like that. Well, there's Dungeon Street. I listen to that. I don't like it.
I
I
haven't
don't
heard
like
it.
it. I
No.
didn't like it. I've heard the thing. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, what I didn't like was that, and I understand it. He surrounds himself with young producers and
I know.
stuff, and they say, "Oh, you want to be doing that, Frank? You want to do
Yeah.
that? How about that?" And you know in yourself that it's not me, you know. And I
Yeah.
think you went along with that. I'm not knocking him because I love him. I've loved him all my life, and
I
I think
can't blame you. I don't like Jürgen. I mean, Jürgen. I don't like Arnie Slot.
no,
So you can. Do you see
I
what
have
I mean?
I
And
haven't got one album of his, not one, not even a single,
uh,
not even Time to Say Goodbye.
yeah,
Arnie, I'll buy that one, maybe.
yeah. But anyway, that's me. Oh, there's a lad here. Look, Fan Zone TV, and I was on the Fozzy show with this lad, and he's
Oh,
like, big up, Frank, you legends. It's Dean. Smash the likes, people. Dean, this is it's this particular show. I'm doing one on Thursday, and I thought you and Fozzy were coming on with me last Thursday as well. But anyway, I'll be seeing you on the Fozzy show, won't I, Tino? He's a cracking lad, and he's like us,
yeah,
He's a southerner, give it that, and he's well clued up on Liverpool because he's a supporter,
yeah,
and he's just like us. The fan base has turned totally against Arnie Slot. But as my next door neighbour calls him, Ernie Slot. Ernie. So anyway, it's good to see you. So I know that you'll be going on other pods in a moment, but thank you so much, Dean, for letting me know anyway. Saying hello to me. Thank you so much, fella. You're a good man.
yeah.
And Jason says, should have had a Chris Butty, mate. It wouldn't break the tooth on that. You're not going to believe it. I did have a Chris Butty, so I said, "Oh, I think I'll have this now," and it broke my tooth. Now we just see how it goes. Yeah, thank you so much, mate, as well, because you done me a favour today, a massive favour. And Phil says, "Hi, Ant. Do you think anyone can paint or draw? What's that? OBS is that? Natural talent, but can it be learned?" That's a good question for you, that.
It's a good question, and Phil, I believe that we've all got, every one of us has got it in us. Some choose not to use it, some do, and the one big drawback I find, um, talking to people and mixing with people for years, is the education system. The minute someone criticizes what you do as a child, says, "What you call that? That's not very good," or whatever they say, the negativity stays with you. Um, and in art, same as music, we are not meant to be the same. It's individual. It's what is inside and what you're letting out. And I think everyone has got it. Everyone wants to do it, can do it, you know. But the unfortunate thing is, it's like sport and film, are like everything else. The process is corrupted by the people who buy their way into.
Well, we're going to do something, can't we, on artists, and so I think that'll be great, to come out and say things like that.
Yeah,
Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, going to do a very controversial law. Well, it was a murder trial with two lads at Liverpool Assizes, St George's Hall, and it was one of the most controversial murder trials ever. And we'll be doing that in a moment after I just say hello to all these. But getting back to what Phil said, and what you're saying, when Francine was a baby, what we
Yeah.
call a baby, she was about 4 or 5, and she said, "Can you draw?" I don't know whether she said, "Yeah." She said, "Can you draw me a monkey, Dad?" And I went, "Yeah." And it came out to be a lion. It was a
See,
lion.
it's a difference amongst us that makes it great.
And she said, "I wanted a monkey." I said, "Yeah, but look at the lion. It isn't that. I couldn't do the monkey. I couldn't do it."
Oh,
She's had trauma ever since.
oh my God. Oh, and Phil, I've got to say, I have never had a drawing lesson or painting lesson in my life.
No, you haven't.
If you
And you
want to do it, you set your sat nav and you do it. And it's true of music as well. Academies and stuff are great, but
anyway, Paulie says, "Evening, Frank, Anthony, and chat. Evening, Paulie."
even in Paulie,
And he carries on by saying, "I love McCartney and Wings.
yeah,
And the album Ram, brilliant."
yeah, yeah, me too, Paulie, yeah.
And Christopher, "I've just heard the one track. It's very. We're not going to go on about Paul McCartney and what was it? So I was on a pod today. Jamie Phillips, Jamie's a cracking fella, and then all of a sudden they started to, these comments were coming through. Like, I don't know, I haven't a clue, do you? And they started talking about EastEnders. And they were all having a conversation about EastEnders. And it's supposed to be a football show. I got off and I just said, "Oh, that's enough of this.
Give
Don't
it a
even
bit.
watch soaps. Having a clue what they're talking about. Do you remember when, and all this nonsense?" And Dennis, Paparak, "Sorry I'm late."
Not
Well,
late.
you've heard, with these late people coming in, they don't know what happens at the beginning, do they, Anthony?
You don't know
When the
about the,
fella came in and hit me
yeah, don't know
and
about
knocked
the,
my shoot out.
yeah.
So you missed all the commotion. Huh? What are you laughing at, Anthony? You thought it was funny, I know. I mean,
Oh,
my lips starting to come up now. Dead sure. Look at him.
I'll be all right. Oh,
So the fella gave you a laugh coming in and he gave me a quick bill running out again.
where were we?
Paulie says, what Anthony said about art and music, boom, hit it on the head. Yes. But he knows what he's talking about. And Janet says, "Hi guys and girls." And Phil, "Bands on the Run, best album in my opinion," says Phil.
Yeah. I love the fact that that piece of work, which is fantastic, was against adversity because the two bandmates left the day before they flew out to record it. So, yeah, what you do, it's all booked. You gotta, what you did tonight, you know, gotta go on with the show.
Yes, and Jason said, I'll have to cancel the show. And I said, no, I said, I'll carry on. The show must go on, as they say. But as I said, it's about a very controversial murder case. And Veni Vidi Viking, he's joined us. And all the way from the Viking country, because his tribes came over, destroyed our little place over here in England, took all the Roman stuff, knocked down all the temples that the Romans built,
Yeah.
plant trees and all the roads that they made. So,
But a lot stayed.
sorry,
A lot of the Vikings stayed and settled. Yeah.
I know there's a few up in Kirby.
There you go. Yeah. And like we're now living around Birkenhead and Rock Ferry and stuff,
Oh,
which
there's loads over there. They're all mad over there as well.
yeah, named by the Vikings. Yeah. Yeah.
And us Italians just stayed here. We're all the
Yeah.
proper people, you see. We're
Yeah.
all the nice people.
Yeah.
You get beaten up and get toots knocked out. Anyway, says the Benny says, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all great. Yes, Rennie, thank you so much for joining us. And Gary, hello, Gary. Haven't seen you for a while. No, I haven't. Joking. Hi, Frank and Anthony and everyone.
Evening, Gary.
He's being a nice guy, doesn't he? I said to him when he was going, I said, what are you going there for? It's that expensive. And there he is saying, back from Iceland with a very light wallet. Fish and
Wow.
chips, 27 quid. No thanks.
Wow. Wow.
There you go. There you go, mate. And Janet says to Paulie, big half for McCartney. I'm not having it, McCartney, now. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I've had enough now. It's got nothing to do. It's like that bloody thing I was watching today and they were going on about EastEnders. They're talking about football. I want to talk about a very controversial thing. Very controversial. No more McCartney now. And you know what? It's like I seen the Beatles live on stage. But I'm not gonna go on and talk about it all the time and talk about albums. I suppose they'll all leave now. But Lauren. Hiya, Lauren. Hi, Frankie and Andy. Hi,
Hi,
sweetheart.
Lauren. Good evening to you. Hope your studies are going well.
And Barry says, good evening, Frank and Anthony and chat. Wings at the speed of sound. Top.
An album, 1975, 74.
I tell you what, shall we just change the order of the show and talk about Paul McCartney and Wings? And
No, I
his
think
early days with John Lennon when he met him on a bus when he was 15 or whatever.
I think we're done now. I think it's been gone.
No, because they'll come on again.
Did you ever hear that cracking version by Arthur Mullard of the Grease soundtrack.
No.
Brilliant. I,
Come on.
I couldn't stop laughing for a month. Our favourite, sitting on the bus. You think you've got it out of your system?
Did you watch that thing I told you to watch? And
No,
Johan?
I've got it
Did
loud.
you watch? Oh, yeah, you're hopeless. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. That's why I stopped doing the film shows on a Saturday morning. The
This is like
films and TV. No one watches anything.
this is
There was
just
only no one who watched sort things.
one more week, and I'm free of busyness. Gone.
Did you ever hear that song by Lennon and he went sober after he died? Free as a bird.
Yeah.
That was awful. That
It,
wasn't the Beatles. That
it
was
was
absolutely dreadful.
it was a demo of his, and then yeah, they can't. I did like the fact that that was four of them together in one recording, but
Yeah.
it would be better now. I'm not a fan. I'm big time not a fan of AI, but that kind of technology is what you need to do something like that.
Do you know what, Anthony? You mightn't believe this, but when I was about 22, I was talking to one of the lads, well, just a mate, that you knocked around with. And I said to him, I reckon in the future, this is genuine, this. I said, I reckon in the future that they'll get, say, like, and I mentioned Humphrey Bogart, and I said, they'll get him, and they'll make a film with him starring in it by using, like, his voice to get an impersonator,
Yeah,
who can speak like him. And they'll use like lip thing, they'll do it, whatever they do.
yeah,
And that was a precursor to what's happening today with AI.
yeah,
I
absolutely
said,
right.
so they'll make films with different film stars and, make a film like, and I mentioned Humphrey Bogart and stars at that time
Yeah,
and just bring them out, bring them all back to life. And I
that's
said
exactly.
that when I was about 22.
Yeah, yeah. And in the early 90s, there was a beer company did a series of adverts, and he was in it, and James Cagney was in it, and they kind of cloned, you know, the
Yeah.
movies. The
Yeah.
fairly basic in today's standard, but fantastic. But now it is, um, wow, it actors are forever in court
Does
saying,
that make me a visionary like Da Vinci and HG and Eric
yeah,
Blair?
yeah, they were saying automation.
Yeah.
Well, it's that thing that you mentioned, and we talked privately about, and I'd love to do a show and drop that in for our guys here, our family here, which is retro futura. So both Latin terms, but what it means is the past brought to the present. And we've done it for years and years and years and not really noticed in music, in film, in fashion. And it's a fascinating subject. And yet those particular gentlemen are were masters at their game.
Yeah. And Bella says, yeah, buonasera Franco, Antonio, and all the family chatters. Hello, Bella.
Evening, Bella.
Karen Kariakou. Thanks for last night, Frank. We lasted 1.5 hours. We will watch the rest tonight. No rest
Ah,
for the wicked. Good evening, Frank, Anthony, and all the lovely followers. Vikings came to Ormskirk too. I know that's where you met. He was pretending to be a Greek descent, and he wasn't. He was a Viking, Steve, wasn't he? We know all about Steve.
yeah,
Wrecking everywhere, and
yeah. We fought
uh,
them on the beaches.
don't make me laugh. Honest,
So
Karen
many.
tooth. Look,
Uh,
someone came
more
in before and hit me.
Christmases, me too, from teeth. That wasn't McCartney, was it?
I'm gonna block Janet now because, as I said, if anyone mentions Paul McCartney again, I'm going to block them forever. And Janet's going on. You're going to get blocked now, Janet. You'll never be able to come on this show again. You'll never be able to look at it. You'll never be able to see Anthony's work. You'll never be able to hear what Anthony says. You'll never get to know about others. You won't even know about tonight's show that we're going to do when I finally get to do it. So I'm going to block you. See, look. Phil, what do you think about the new Paul McCartney single? And what did they say?
Oh, oh, Janet, we had that nearly an hour ago.
I've been to Reykjavik. I've been in Reykjavik. Was expensive though. Loads of Italians I didn't expect. Yeah, the feds up with the warm weather, to be honest, Gary.
For weather,
That's
yeah.
why they went up there, to get to cool off, to open up restaurants. Loads of Italians. Did you get a pizza? I don't know how much the pizzas are there. And Gary says Billy Butler used to help the groups get the gear in the cabin. Well, Dennis Paparak, me mate. Yeah, look, there's Dennis. I went past. Derek Bentley and Chris Clegg.
The murder tonight. No, it's not them.
It's not
Tim,
them.
but
It's not them. But I've got them anyway. Bentley and Craig. I'm not doing it tonight though. And Gary said, yeah. Right, so I'm going to go right down. If anyone mentions another Paul McCartney thing and the Beatles, Janet, you're going on and on and on. And she says, look, and she says, look, you're talking about the Beatles, Frank. I'm going to start now. You can talk to yourselves. And if I see the Beatles up there and Paul McCartney and Jasper Carrot
and
and
Arthur Muller,
anybody else and anybody. Anyway, I'm going to thank all these wonderful people. I'm going to talk about these wonderful people. You've got Peyton Services who sponsor all the Frank Carlyle shows. Every single one of them. These people are fully time served, they're fully insured, just in case anything goes wrong. If you're an NHS worker, if you're an elderly person or elderly couple, don't struggle trying to decorate your place. Get these lads in because you get a special discount along with the NHS worker. Please get them down. And if you don't fit into the categories, please, just don't struggle trying to decorate. And just get them in. And get a price off them without any obligation whatsoever. Because when I was younger, as you know by now, I fell backwards, picked my ceiling and broke my neck, and this is the way I am today, unfortunately. Don't struggle. That's why I keep telling people, don't struggle. Just get these people in, the first class. That's Gap Painting Services. Toscana, she's going on about Macca as well. Right, that's it. I'm finished now. Karen says, our church has a Viking heritage, I'm sure. Of course. We've got it here. We have a Viking heritage too, as well, Karen. Liverpool. Especially the wine lodges in town. Leif Erikson. Yeah, he was, Gary. He was. Eric the Red was the best explorer. Eric the Red. But he was a bit of a lunatic because he came here. No, we went to Iceland first. And he found out that the fish and chips, were very, very expensive. So he killed the fella who made them. And then he was exiled from there. Then he came here. He came to England. And he murdered someone here. As well, Eric the Red. Because he was a leader. And, the hierarchy of the Vikings, the Norsemen, they said, listen, this is wrong. Because he killed a fella, a shoe shine boy. Because he never got the thing right. So they exiled him. And they told him, go west. And he did. He got on his boat and he went west. And what he found, he got to what is known today as Canada. He went to the land there. And America, possibly America as well. Around where New York is. The Hudson River. And he brought back totems. He was the first man to get over there to bring back totems. And that was around 960.
Wow.
Eric the Red. Great. So they forgave him. But they still there put in exile though. He was still put in exile because of the murders. I'm going to start on this now.
I'll carry the bags.
And Venny, Ragnar Lodbrog. Oh, is that Lodbrog, is it? Lodbrog. Yeah, Ragnar. There's been loads of great explorers. But the greatest explorer of them all was Marco Polo. Marco Polo, getting to China. He was the greatest of the lot. And even the English fella, Henry the Navigator, he was a great explorer too. And Livingstone, Mr. Livingstone, I presume. Because Stanley, who went and looked for him down the Zambezi, he actually lived here in Liverpool. Stanley lived here.
Was that as part of the sailing community?
Yeah, where he lived just off what we know today as Great Ormond Street. So
Yeah,
we lived near
the docks.
the river, the sea. So great I'll do one. I'll do a thing on exploration
I
if you
love
ever
that.
want me to, on these explorers.
I would love that, and I'm sure the guys would too. Yeah,
Do you know what people tend to forget as well is exploration of mountains. You know, mountaineers, they're
yeah,
explorers, and deep sea divers, incredible. They're all explorers. It's not just finding land,
no,
but when you find land, there was lots of atrocities going on. Tasmania, for example, and Cook's Lot, because when they seen the Aborigines, when they seen these people coming ashore, they thought that they were going to kill them, so they went into war mood, and the way they bend down and they paint themselves, and the sailors thought that they were animals. They thought that they were animals, the way they were running about. So they started shooting them because they thought that they were in danger. And they nearly wiped out all the Aborigines of Tasmania. So it's things like that. It's things like that. The explorers, even when they got to America.
yes, that was ruthless, wasn't it?
Oh, I was rootless, yeah. The first Virginians, when they got to a place called Roanoke, and they thought, these Indians, these Native Americans, yeah, they can cook for us and go and hunt for us. Anyway, there's a big story behind that. And who it involves is one of my great heroes, John Smith, Captain John Smith, an incredible man. And films should have been made about him. I
Yeah,
don't know whether there's a statue of him, because a statue, I'm not saying here, but down in London, should be a statue of him. John Smith and what he achieved. An incredible man. I think so, anyway.
yeah,
So he has a lot to do with the first Virginians
yeah,
and what he did, and how he came about to get to Virginia. And then you've got the explorers, believe it or not, of the founding fathers of America when they got there in 1620. But, you know, they went there by mistake. Not by mistake, they got to Cape Cod by mistake because they were blown off course. They were just blown off course because they were on the way to Virginia to join up with other Virginians. But the Americans never ever liked talking about the first Virginians. Shall I tell you why, Anthony?
yeah.
Because they turned to cannibalism.
Wow.
And that's another story. That's another story. It's true that's why they never talk about the first Virginians. And when they celebrate the likes of Thanksgiving, you want to hear the story behind that. Shocking. Shocking.
Because they reckoned that God had given them these crops, these fruits, and these farmland, um, and that's what they're.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, it was.
But they
Promised land.
committed genocide on hundreds of thousands, millions of native Indian.
They nearly wiped out as well the buffalo. It's just like wiping out these explorers as such. The dodo and other great animals and birds, different creatures. Wipe them out off the face of the earth. So we'll do that one day. I've got to do the Romans, haven't I?
Yeah, well, we'll enjoy that one.
Never be sorry. Sorry, Frank, just follow the lead. Don't be sorry. Don't like anyone being sorry. No need. Gary Rigby. Anthony, you can give a talk on your favourite artists one night. No, we can't. No, I won't allow him.
My ultimate favorite artist is Frank's too.
Fancy, we are going to talk about artists, though, aren't we, Anthony?
Yeah, I sneak them in, and you sneak them in all the time. You know,
Absolutely.
there's a wonderful quote by Queen Victoria, which is basically. I'll have to find the quote and send it to Jason. Basically, that um, we should all be wary of artists because they embroil themselves in all manner of society. Therefore, be on your guard. That's the only thing she's ever said that I've kind of liked.
I don't believe this. Karen says, North Origins, the town's name is derived from Orm, in brackets, a Viking name meaning serpent stroke dragon, and Kirke church, yes. This is why they were here. Kirkdale. Kirkdale. A church was built, a kirk. A kirk was built in that sense, Kirkdale, in the Dale, one church. And Kirk Church, reflecting a history that dates back to the Vikings. Yes. She says, told you. This is nuts.
You did tell us, Karen. Yeah, real.
And Dennis, I thought I'd take a stab at it, guys. Pun intended. I like that. Like that, Dennis. I wonder if I'll see Dennis with my new suit. What he doesn't know about.
Don't scare him off.
Anyway, I'm going to start now. And this case is about these two gentlemen. Alfred Burns on your right. And it's shocking, really, because where you've got Burns and Devlin, when is it the case? It's really bad. It really is bad. Because there was this lady, and unfortunately, Mrs. Alice Rimmer, she was murdered in Cranbourne Road, Wavertree. Cranbourne. In August 1951. And her son, incidentally, was an ex-policeman. And he went to see her. And she never answered the door. So he went around the back, got through a window, broke through the window. Here's the scene of this murder. Nice little home.
Yeah.
There it is, nice little home. There's the window that was smashed for the murderer or murderers to get through. And unfortunately, there's the body on the floor of Mrs. Rimmer. 50 odd years of age she was. Killed in a lobby, in the hallway. And there's one of the I think that's Devlin being arrested for the murder. So let's get to the murder, eh? Let's get to the trial. And the trial, and there they are, the Bairns and Devlin. St. George's Hall, the 19th of February, 1953. And the judge, Mr. Justice Fenimore. The prosecution, Mr. Basil Neils, KC, King's Counsel. The defence, Mrs. Rose Heilbron, King's Counsel for Devlin. And the defence, Sir Noel Goldie, King's Counsel for Bairns. I'll have to put my glasses on. Excuse me.
So we come across the name Miss Rose.
Heilbron before.
Yes.
Well, we'll talk about Miss Rose Heilbron. We will talk about her. Great lady.
Yeah.
And the prosecution on the 20th of August 1951 said at 7 Cranbourne Road, Tom Rimmer arrives at his mother's home, Alice Rimmer, 54 years of age, couldn't get an answer, forced his way in, found his mother badly beaten and dead. Is that Jason in? Is he on tonight or is he out?
I'm not sure. It's normally his night out, isn't it? But if he's loaded stuff up for it before, then he might be around for a while. Not sure.
I'm just thinking for a break, to be honest. Should have made myself a cup of tea. So, like the son found his, Tom Rimmer, he found his, forced his way in. and found his mother dead. She'd been badly beaten and dead. And the cause of the death was a fractured skull, loss of blood, and shock. Did you know that shock kills most people? Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was an after thing in any serious.
Crime, yeah. Any violent attack
Yeah,
kills you. And even if you're not involved, you could see something happening, like a death, and you could die from it. You could, witnessing a death. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about this. Sneezing. And you could die from a heart attack that shocks the body.
yeah,
And lots of people have been diagnosed with their death, like after seeing a death or a violent occurrence. Anyway, 20 to 30 blows to the head resulted in a frenzied attack. Oh, you've got to think about that, a frenzied attack. And Detective Sergeant, Superintendent, I'm sorry, Detective Superintendent Hector Taylor took charge of the investigation. And by September, there was no results or clues for the murder. So the investigation stalled. Chief Superintendent Bert Balmer drafted in to take charge to get the results. Balmer also wants results very quickly. Balmer knows he has a grass in Walton Jail, George McLaughlin. Now, McLaughlin was in Walton Jail for burglary. His auntie's house, also in Cranmore Road. And Balmer decided the burglary was planned and executed by two men. So you've got to come to the conclusion, how would he know that? How would he know that? That it was committed by two men?
well,
Why didn't he say 6 men? Or 4 men? Or 1 man? He came to the conclusion, 2 men must have done this.
that's kind of getting to be a regular thing for Mr. Balmer, isn't it?
And he visited McLaughlin at Walton Prison, asked if he knew the burglars who worked together, Burns and Devlin, mentioned after the interview, both known to Balmer. So Balmer knew these 2 lads. And McLaughlin told Balmer he met both Burns and Devlin to case a job in Liverpool. And that job was at 7 Cranmore Road. When you think about it, Anthony, there was no clues. There was absolutely zilch. Because Taylor said, there's nothing, there's not, no witnesses, no nothing about this murder and whoever did it. So they decided to bring in Balmer. Now, Balmer, as we know, is what, Anthony? Have you got any idea about this Balmer fella?
Well, on his record sheets, he's technically listed as very good because he solves every case. What is his workforce thought of him, I don't know. But he's regarded as il salve, il sorti.
He will solve it because he catches all the criminals that he goes after. All the criminals he goes after, he catches. So that's telling you something, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Toll Baines and Evelyn, the widow, Mrs. Rimmer, was left a lot of money. Now, this is McLaughlin. This is the plan. This is what's being carried out.
Yeah.
A lot of money and was stashed in the house. June Berry, 20, girlfriends of Evelyn, drafted into the plan of robbery. Berry would talk to Mrs. Rimmer at the door while Baines and Evelyn would scale the back wall and enter through a window. Hence the window that was smashed that we've seen at the back.
Yeah.
McLaughlin would give both Baines and Evelyn a leg up over the wall. Okay, so let's stop it there. If he's getting a leg up over the wall, Evelyn and Baines, by McLaughlin, what would that make McLaughlin?
One of them, accomplice.
Yeah, an accomplice to murder.
Yeah.
To murder. Think about that. This puts McLaughlin firmly at the crime scene. The plan was set in motion. Berry told Balmer she never left Manchester on the day of the crime. So June Barry, who was trying to be implicated, said she was in Manchester on the day of the crime.
Yeah.
Berry told Balmer she might know of a girl who went with Baines and Evelyn on the night of the crime. Now, when they brought this girl in for questioning, and she said I wasn't there, do you think Balmer would have just took that at face value? He wouldn't have done, would he?
No.
They're saying that.
No. Because he he wanted someone to be there.
He wanted somebody to be there. Because what she told him, Anthony, and that could be proved without a shadow of a doubt, was that she was at hospital that day. At the time of the murder as well. So obviously, she said, oh, but I know someone who would go there with them. And she mentions a young girl, Maria Milne, 17, a prostitute, girlfriend of Baines. When interviewed, told Balmer she waited for Baines and Evelyn at 6 p.m. on the day at the 19th of August. Now, all of a sudden, this Maria Milne, who was drafted in, obviously Balmer got a grip of her. I don't mean literally gets a, he's interviewed her, he's interrogating her because of that, what that girl said, Berry. Oh, she might have gone along. because Barmer was a very intimidating man. A very intimidating man.
Yeah.
And obviously, threats had come. Even the Berry girl, she must have been threatened as well. She would have been threatened. Not must have been. She would have been threatened with other crimes that he could bring her in for.
Yeah.
So you've got to name somebody because, as I said, they got proof that she was at this hospital. So he just said, you better give us a name or we'll still implicate you. We'll know that you knew about the plan so that you'll be implicated. So she said, well okay, what about Maria Milne? Because Maria Milne was an illegal immigrant. Illegal. She was here on the country on false pretenses, and therefore she was an illegal alien in the country. And it's so different then than it is now, being an illegal alien in the country. So Maria Milne, prostitute, girlfriend of Burns, when interviewed, told Barmer she waited for Burns and Devlin at 6 p.m. on the day of the 19th of August. And her job was to keep a woman busy at the front door of 7 Cranmore Road while Burns and Devlin robbed the house. Now, that script was already written, wasn't it?
Yes.
For Berry.
I feel so. Yeah. Yeah.
It was already written, hadn't it?
Yeah.
So, they never showed after the rendezvous. That's what rendezvous anyway. Wasn't shown. They never shown up. Mill later met them at the Rialto cafe because she said they never showed up. So something's going wrong here, don't they?
Yeah. I feel so. It doesn't make sense
No.
why someone from Manchester would want to do a robbery.
Well, hang on, we haven't even mentioned where they're from.
Well, the girl.
Yeah, the girl. And they made the way to Cranmore Road via a bus, so they got the bus down. Me and you are going to do me and you, Anthony, are going to do a robbery, right?
Yeah.
So we get the bus down. We get the bus there.
With stripy t-shirts.
A stripy t-shirt and a mask. And a false tooth.
And this is where my artistic ingenuity comes in, because I write on the bag, swag.
Swag. That's all that's missing, isn't it, from this? Isn't it, Anthony? That's all that's missing. So anyway, they never showed. And when they returned, she's sitting in the Rialto and they had blood on them. Milne overheard Devlin, get onto this. Milne overheard Devlin and Burns. Will that old lady live? This is in the cafe, by the way. And he says, to hell with the old woman. We'll be out of Liverpool before long and we'll take Maria with us. She's supposed to be down there. She's the girlfriend of one of them. And this is being over it, and we'll take Maria with us. Wouldn't she already go with them?
Yeah.
Because she's the girlfriend of one of them. You see what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
this is all. And there's a jury listening to this. The jury is listening to this, sitting there. And that's the prosecution. That's the prosecution for these two lads. But the defence argued that all the evidence against Burns and Devlin had been nothing more than circumstantial.
Big
Burns
time.
and Devlin, sorry, go on, Anthony.
Big time circumstantial.
Yeah.
So nothing.
As they say, nothing more. Overwhelming circumstantial. Burns and Devlin, known criminals, were at a totally different location. They were known criminals. They were at a totally different location on the night of the murder. This is the defence. Let alone be involved in a murder. Burns and Devlin and another man named Alan Campbell were robbing a warehouse, Sun Blinds Limited, Great Jackson Street, Manchester, on the 19th of August. The night Mrs. Rimmer was found murdered. So therefore, before they went to rob Burns, before they went to rob Mrs. Rimmer at Cranmore, Burns and Devlin and Campbell went on a pub crawl and left the pub to ship in at 11:30 to do the job. This is up in Manchester. Doing a job because they're both Manchester lads. So they left that pub. They were there. They were on a pub crawl. Even with this lad, Campbell. So you've got to ask yourself, Anthony, if those three went on a spree of burglary, why didn't they bring Campbell with them? If they were three mates and they were three burglars? Got to ask yourself that. And all three of them stayed at Burns' mother's house in Medlock Street after the robbery in Manchester. And the trial lasted 10 days. Both were found guilty as charged on the 25th of April, 1952. Burns and Devlin were hanged side by side. Albert Pierpoint was the executioner. Now look at the defence. They didn't know McLaughlin, and McLaughlin didn't even know them either. They'd never heard of McLaughlin. And we later found out that McLaughlin never even heard of them. They were not seen at the crime scene, not seen enter nor leave the premises, No major weapons, no major weapon or weapons had been discovered. Fingerprints found were not of Baines or Devlin's. Many witnesses for Baines and Devlin had alibis on the night. They were the alibis for Baines and Devlin. Albeit blood was found on the clothing of Baines. The blood did not, I know this, the blood did not belong to Mrs. Rimmer. Forensic could not match them to Mrs. Rimmer. Blood found on Mrs. Rimmer's home was different blood type to that of Baines, and there was no match for Devlin. Only witness for the prosecution, a terrified 17-year-old Maria Milne, whom was not seen at the corner of Cranmore Street, nor at the Rialto, as she stated. No one's seen it.
No.
No one had seen it.
No.
Because, go on.
She's simply reading from a script, isn't she?
Well, it's a setup, isn't it, really? It's a setup. Because, but why did he go after these two?
Don't know. Don't know that one.
Well, they were always down here, not every week or anything like that, but, coming down once in a while and committing a burglary, but not of houses, of warehouses and such. Just like the sun blinds up in Manchester that they said there with Campbell. But what happened to Campbell? Why wasn't he? Why wasn't he? That's another one. Why wasn't he involved with the crime? Because he was in jail anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
And he came out and he said, listen, out of jail, that is. They brought him as a witness. The defence. You had the alibis, Anthony, from the pubs. The people from the pubs. He went on a crawl. The alibi of Mrs. Baines. The alibi of Campbell, the fella he did the burglary with at that factory called Sunblinds. So why weren't these witnesses, and I'm talking a lot of witnesses, why did they just believe one little girl, one young girl, 17 years of age? And yet there was other witnesses to say no, they were in the pub. Other people were saying they were in other pubs as well, they'd seen them. You had Baines' mother saying no, they were in my home, they slept the night. So why do you think the jury found him guilty of this crime?
I think it was coercion. I think the police were adamant that they found their bad guys, and I don't think the legal system, the justice system, did them any favours whatsoever. No. Because
as I said, Barmer, every time he went after someone, what he said at the beginning, Anthony, too, was that 2 men done this. How would he know that?
Yeah.
So that was already on his mind.
Yeah.
About these 2 lads.
Yeah.
And they picked the perfect one, that Berry one, who said, I wasn't there. And he's pressing him, saying, you were there. And she said, well, I've got proof I was at the hospital at that time. So I couldn't have been there, couldn't have been. So he said, well, okay, but we can have you again. Who do you think might have been down there with them? And she gave this Maria Milne. And Maria Milne, as I mentioned, was an illegal immigrant. And if you're 17 years of age and you've got a bully, the king of the manipulators, giving you loads. See what I mean?
You're going to be petrified, aren't you?
Yes, she was 17 years of age. And yet they were found guilty. With all those witnesses. Because, as the prosecution said, these drinkers, look at the time, they said. Look at the time of the pub where they said they were there, then left to do a burglary, leaving the pub at 11:30. Pub shut at 10, you see, back in the day, and you had to be out by 10 past. Yet they were still there. Because it was against the law to have anybody in a pub after 10 past 10. So they were breaking the law. And that's what came out. How could you? They said, I think they said, I don't know whether it was either the husband or the wife. So you'd open up every night after hours. And they said, no, just keep it open. They're doing no harm. Any of the customers.
They had him then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the sad indictment, isn't it, really, where you get these people, the likes of, I'm talking about real murderers. You've got the real murderer sitting most probably in the court, just sitting back, looking at the trial, being found guilty. So that's a massive relief from him or her. Then once they're hanged, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Free as a bird.
Free as a bird. Yeah. Nothing can touch me.
Can you remember what profession the son was?
He was a policeman or an ex-policeman, wasn't he?
Ex-policeman. Imagine this back in that day. If a policeman, ex-policeman at that as well, was brought in and questioned for murder and charged with murder, then found guilty of murder, then hanged for murder. Anthony, what would have the country thought? What would have been the outcry? about a policeman being found guilty of murder.
That it would have tarnished it. It's like that one rotten apple in a battle, isn't it? It would have tarnished the lot.
The whole of the police force.
Yes.
It would have tarnished them. Rightly so. And what else would it have done to the likes of Barmer? Bringing these lads in, charging them with murder, if they would have been found not guilty.
Well, it would have been a dent on his career.
Massive,
It
massive,
so-called solves every case
yeah.
to now.
Every case, Anthony. Everyone he brought in, you would have you would have had the people who were saying, "Great, he's got him, oh, this is great," or he's got them. They were made up that they'd been caught because murder's a terrible thing, isn't it?
Yes.
But you get other people going, how come we can get the murderers? How is it so easy for him? And what about the child? I'm sorry, go on.
No, the other thing, Frank, is that he's got the murders, and what they paid for was not 6 months in jail. They were hung. So there's going to be no comeback from that.
No comeback whatsoever. And when you look at it, the likes of Obama, he would have been exposed, wouldn't he? Because they would have just turned around and said, well, what about other people that he brought in?
Yeah.
The likes of George Kelly.
Yes.
Who professed his innocence. Whom people believed, by the way.
Yeah.
George Kelly and the cameo murder.
Yeah. Albert Perrypoint believed him.
Yep. It's amazing what Pierpoint did. But he was good at his job. It's horrible to say, but he was.
He was good, yeah. Yeah.
Did you know that he hanged his mate?
Yes. Yeah. He opened a pub, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the regulars became a friend.
And they used to have a beer together.
Yeah.
Yet, he was brought up for murder. Imagine being a hangman, having to hang your mate. You're the hangman.
Wow. It just sounds insane, doesn't it? But I think he felt that he was not going to let suffer past the seconds or however much time it took. And I think it got to him, didn't it? I think, if I remember rightly, was this the last case where two people were hung?
Side by side. Yep. What about, Anthony, Miss Rose Heilbronn? What about her?
From what you've said on the trials that were covered today and in the past, I think she was essentially a good woman doing all the things she could, but the way the society was warped and bigoted and chauvinistic at the time, she was just not allowed any respect.
Oh. No, she wasn't. None whatsoever. They actually looked down at her. Even the juries. The juries. You know, when she was defending, they must have been thinking, she's not right. You know, she can't be correct.
Yeah. What would she know?
Exactly. And that's the way it was. And I said, if I was being up for murder and I had the opportunity to hire Margaret Lockwood, there's no way I'd hire her.
Yeah.
Yet she was a very good barrister.
Yeah.
She did all her own spades work.
Yeah. But it's the not knowing. It's the evilness of that. But the not knowing until you're in that position. And they were innocent lads, only young lads. They'd done a robbery in towards Manchester, but they hadn't killed anyone.
No.
So the two things that come to my mind now as we sit here, one is, did Rose ever write a book at the end of her career?
I think she's done memoirs.
Did she?
Sure of it, yeah.
And B, the ultimate question is, we know they didn't do it. They were fitted up by Balmer. So who was the true culprit?
Well, you've only got to look allegedly. Allegedly. Just let me get this. I'm sorry. Sorry about it. You see, what you've got, Anthony, is a cop. A cop. He goes to see his mother. He couldn't get in. He goes around the back. Then he comes back again. Now think about this. Remember what McLaughlin said, that he helped them over the wall to get into the house.
Yeah.
How does he get into the house? Said that he kicked the door in. And that's where you have. See. Excuse me. Why am the right one here? I'm just going to show you the crime scene again.
Yeah.
Just bear with me on this.
I remember the window photograph.
Yeah. Hang on. Sorry about this. I don't believe this. Right. There she is, dead. In the hallway.
Oh.
And there he is getting through the window. Well, that's a policeman.
Yeah.
Now, why was that smashed to get in? Also, have you seen the way the policeman is? He's getting in, right?
Yeah.
Where's his hand? It's on the pane of glass.
Yeah.
Okay. And his other hand, for him to get in, would be on the windowsill,
Yes.
wouldn't it? So he could get in.
Yet to prop himself up.
Okay. Now, was there any fingerprints found?
No mention.
No mention whatsoever. No mention. These lads were supposed to do this particular murder. Well, this particular burglary, we'll call it a burglary. Yet, the lady's death, Mrs. Rimmer, was a frenzied attack. The two lads were never known as violent. So why have a violent attack? She's a lady, she's 50 odd years of age. If there was two fellas, they would have just overpowered her, wouldn't they?
Yes.
And what would they have done if they would have overpowered her?
Probably either sat in a chair, one of them standing over.
He was a bounder, wouldn't he? Bound and gagged her.
Could have, yeah.
And threatened her to say, if you fucking, sorry to swear, if you scream, you're going to get this.
Yeah.
And the lady wouldn't have screamed at anything.
No.
So let's look at it now. They would have came in. And before they overpowered her, she would have seen them. What would have been the first thing she would have done, the lady?
She would have given a description.
No. The first time she's seen them, coming in her own.
She'd have screamed.
Exactly, Anthony. Was there any screams heard?
Nothing reported.
Nothing at all. So therefore, if someone was walking in the house, Mrs. Rimmer had seen them, and she never screamed, would she have known that person if she never screamed?
Yeah, more than likely.
More than likely. So, allegedly, now don't forget that the blood and everything that was found didn't belong to Burns or Devlin. Albeit that I think it was Burns who had blood on him. It never matched. The blood on her. What was found didn't match. Oh, don't forget the blood on her didn't match Burns or Devlin. You've just seen the picture there, that fella getting through. No fingerprints were found that belonged to Burns or Devlin. No fingerprints whatsoever. You had the witnesses. You even had that Maria Milne saying that she was standing on the corner of the street. This is August. These are lighty nights. early evening.
Yeah.
What would kids be doing?
Playing out in the
Playing
streets,
out. Yeah,
playing
skipping.
football
Don't you go to skip?
on
Got
bikes.
hours like that. Go on,
Yeah.
sorry.
Just playing, Frank, on bikes, playing football. Just
Exactly. The women, don't really, who had a telly in 1951? So what would women be doing?
neighbours would be talking.
Exactly. They're outside looking after the kid, looking at the kids playing football. Even men
Yeah.
standing there chatting away. Does anyone see Maria Milne?
No mention.
No mention of her. Does anybody see the two lads, Burns and Devlin?
Again, no mention.
Not even any mention of Case and the Job. And don't forget that the likes of McLaughlin was in jail. For burglary in Cranmore Street. And all of a sudden, the big bright spark, the big light, ding, of the other fella barmaid said, "Oh, I know a grass up there. Oh, I think I'll go and visit him." That was McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Because those two lads said, "We don't even know this fella. Who is he?" And he's accusing us of planning a job. So everything was set up. Even the people in the Rialto, the cafe, never seen this. No one was sitting there. That girl. No two lads came in with a Manchester accent and had blood on them. No bus crews. So if they got a bus down there, how did they get back? They had to get a bus back to the Rialto. If that was the case. And they said no one came in here with blood on them. No one sat in that place there. Nobody. No girl, no nothing. What about the witnesses as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the pubs?
Who all confirmed them being somewhere else at the time.
Even the fella Campbell, because the prosecution said, "How can you believe people, drunken people, drunken people?" Do you know how juries were formed in those days, Anthony? It wasn't like Jimmy Jones from down the road and Maggie Smith from up the road. It was people. I don't like saying this, but I have to. These were middle class people. And the prosecution only had to say, "How can you believe drunken louts from Manchester trying to protect their own, especially people who were breaking the law every single night of the week?"
Yeah.
And they are the
Yeah.
proprietors of
Yeah.
pubs that
Publicans.
were illegally open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And drunken yobs saying, "Oh, yeah, he was with us. We've seen him in a pub." This is how they worked.
Yeah.
This is how they worked. And this is how they manipulated juries. They took no notice of it, or no fingerprints were found. The blood on them didn't belong to Mrs. Rimmer, and the blood found on them, and the blood found on Mrs. Rimmer didn't belong to either of them. It's just shocking. And yet they said about the young girl, why would the young girl come out and say that she was down there? Sorry, go on.
Because you've been threatened.
Of course. But the prosecution are not going to say that, are they? They're just going to say this young girl, why would she say that, that she was down there with those two oafs, those two burglars? Why would she say that? Because this young girl, she didn't need to say that. This is the prosecution speaking.
Yeah.
So they manipulate the jury to believe a young girl. They're not going to come out and say, yes, by the way, she's an illegal immigrant. Because she had been threatened with deportation and jail, by the way, before she'd be deported. And yet they were found guilty, Anthony. Found guilty of the crime. Do you think it was injustice of these?
Oh, absolutely. 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 Big time corruption, injustice.
So why would it have been that? Why did he get away with this? Why did he get away with? I'm talking about Barmer here. Why did he get away with this? Why did he get away with fitting up so many people and then manipulating the juries? And this is what he was like. This is what this man was like.
I think that reign of fear applied to his juniors, his squaddies as well. I think no one was going to cross him, and no one was going to say, "Think you're lying there, boss." They weren't. No one was going to do that.
But again, so he intimidated what you're saying, his fellow officers.
Yeah.
Because he was a powerful man. A very powerful man, by the way. Thought he was going to sneeze again there. So this is the way it is. This is the way the law was. George Kelly, the Cameo murders, set up. Set up. Finally exonerated in 2005 or 6, saying that he never done it. Yeah. And yet he pleaded his innocence. Said those lads plead their innocence.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
And the most poignant thing we talked about is that his body still lies on prison ground.
Yeah. Yes.
So his family,
which is shocking. Jeanette, I was only messing before when I was saying that. Don't be worrying. Don't be sorry. I don't think they can get my humour. Have I got the toothless humour now, Anthony?
No,
And Dennis says, minus 50 points to the kiddos not dialed into tonight's assignment from Professor Carlyle. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis the Paparak. The fella who's genuinely got alligators as, I'm not saying as friends, but as neighbours.
in his backyard.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the squirrels, Tennessee, I tell you. That'll
You've
do
got
for me.
squirrels. You've got squirrels.
Mm.
And he's got alligators. Cedric was with us. Sneaked in the back of the class. Big up, legends. Are you, Cedric? And the poets don't know it. The rich and the powerful play degenerate, try to degenerate the arts. But that's only because poets, painters, songwriters, authors, playwrights, etc. have been in the front rank when it comes to advocating for social justice. That's brilliant, that.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
What a compliment that is.
They want to buy ownership of it. So they open galleries and they open theatres and fill it with just their chosen few.
Janet says, "Are you Phil?" And all use. I like that. Yeah, Gary Rigby. Eric the Red was Leaf's dad. Get in there. See how powerful these people are, aren't they?
Brilliant, brilliant. I'm going to really enjoy doing some homework.
And Janet says, "I am Pop." Yeah, Janet, the Paul McCartney fan, is part of Viking. She's a Viking. My mum has an eye problem which have been traced back to the Vikings. You can't blame them for poking your mother's eye out. Come on.
Kirk Douglas tried that once and never got away with it.
Yep, Burke, yeah. Burke, horrible him. Horrible man, him, Anthony.
Tony Curtis done him in.
Sorry?
Tony Curtis done him in. Only in the film.
He did.
Yeah.
Tony Curtis. Isn't there a Scandinavian church? Yes, you're right there, Paulie.
It is.
The Scandinavian church. I'll tell you something else as well. The fella who designed it was Wilhelm Caru. He was a Dane. And he built the Swedish church for them. Wilhelm Caru. So you're right there, Paulie. And you'll find a town in, I always forget this bloody street. It's down, God blimey, it's down by Liverpool 1 anyway. I always forget the name of the bloody street. It's by St. Paul's church. It's in that vicinity. Nice it is. Lovely church. And he also designed and built the Adelphi Bank. And if you don't know where the Adelphi Bank is, you do know it. And it's on Castle Street. And you know it better than or as Cafe Nero.
Beautiful, beautiful building, isn't it?
Absolutely, Anthony. Because he did unusual roofs, as you know. And if you see the Scandinavian church, as Paulie said, it's like a pyramid. And who built the pyramids? Just imagine, Anthony, 24 hours ago, I had a full set of teeth. Never eat. That
Yeah.
Francis doesn't know, that. So I'm going to surprise her tomorrow. I'm not going to phone her tonight. She'll be down tomorrow. I'll give her a ring tomorrow. Just say, what time will you be down? Because I have to go shopping.
Yes.
And when she'll come in, I'll go. Give her a big smile. And she'll go, what happened to you, Dad? It's what you bought me. As a little nice surprise.
As a-
Bloody shootout. And Phil says, Italians say he is theirs, but his house on Carcula Island. Oh, go away. The Italians wouldn't say that Eric the Red. No, it wasn't Italian. Canute the Great stands out as the most successful for ruling a peaceful, unified England within the North Sea Empire. Ragnar Lodbrokes. Yes, Brox. Yes, but this is the same fella who thought that he could get the tide to go out. And a crab bit him on the toe. Did you know that, Anthony?
No.
As he was sitting there, Canute. And he was saying, listen, you've got big crabs here. Might bite you. He said, he won't. Don't come there, mate. He bit his toe. No, I'm not kidding. The story of Lewis and Clark is fascinating. Yeah, you're right. I'll tell you what I'll do next. I'll tell you, I'll do another couple. And it'll be, who shall I do, Anthony? Who shall I do?
Well, you'd mentioned, we've done it before, but it's a fascinating story. The Man from the Prue.
Okay.
And this?
Let's see. I'll tell you who I'll do. I might do two. The Man from the Prue. If no one talks about Paul McCartney, that is.
I won't.
Vikings and things like that. I'll tell you who I'll do. I'm going to do the Romans, aren't I? As well.
Yeah, we didn't pick a date for it, but yeah, we were going to do a show on them, what the Romans did for us.
I'll do Evans and Allen, along with the Man from the Prue. And then we'll be able to do as well, Anthony, the Romans and the Iceni Revolt.
Okay.
And the Iceni revolt is the tribe of Boudica. Not
Wow.
Boadicea, as they call it. Her name was Boudica.
Oh, fantastic, Frank. Yeah, brilliant one.
So we'll do that. When will we do it next Monday, eh?
That's brilliant with me, Frank. Yeah, yeah,
And Karen says, Cake Tale, of course. Awesome.
yeah.
And Gary says, not far from mine, Cranbourne. Oh, go away.
Wow.
I didn't know. There must be two Cranbourne roads, one in Iceland, Reykjavik, and one here in Liverpool. Because Gary's a Viking, isn't he? I'm only kidding, Gary. You know that. We say, where's he going to? Iceland, Reykjavik.
You will.
Our little Lauren, hiya, Billy. And Lauren says, I was playing a game and forgot the podcast. Oh, no, we did loads on. You never told me when I said last week, because you must have gone, because you would have answered me, so you sneaked off playing games. You're always playing games, Lauren. Because you said, I'm doing some literature tomorrow. I said, tell me what you're doing. Or you did some that afternoon. I said, tell me what you did. And
That's
you
right.
never told me. Sorry, Frankie and Anthony. Don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry to us,
No,
sweetheart.
no.
And Paulie says, I can smell a rat here. Maybe a setup, says Paulie. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course it was. Of course it was, Paulie. And Poet says, wasn't it Barmer who allegedly stitched up? Yeah, we did it last week. Did we do it last week, Anthony?
yeah,
No. Oh, yeah, we did it. Yeah, of course he stitched them up.
yeah.
And a cousin of mine, Sant'Angelo, I always forget his first name, wrote a book about it, and he was exonerated through the book because
Yeah,
all the evidence was there, George Kelly's evidence.
yeah.
And Willie Ross says, where have you been till this hour? I'm off to the pub. Oh, well, enjoy yourself, Willie.
Have one for us, Willie.
Yes, a couple. They say I have a problem with drink. I love it. Everything in moderation, absolutely, Phil.
Absolutely. Yeah, a Campari in Lucas 8 does us all a world of good.
Yes. And Karen says, Devlin and Burns, just chances. Yeah, they were just chances. That's a good one, that, Karen. And it was just chances. They needed someone, see, who done the murder, and you've got to think about how McLaughlin got away with being an accomplice. You've got to understand also about the real murderer. And allegedly, who do you think the real murderer was, Anthony?
I think it was the son, Frank.
Allegedly, yeah.
the ex-policeman. I think he's
Yes,
just not enough.
ex-policeman.
And his mum was opening the door, and for whatever reason, he lost it.
Well, he could have been going for money.
Well, that's the biggest reason, isn't it? For some, yeah. Horrific, though, series of events.
Yep. And Willie says, Mr. Carlyle, I played a part in the Rita, Sue, and Bob too. Oh, go away. I was talking to George. I met him up. He played Bob. Actually, George. He was he was appearing at the Everyman, and I was actually talking to him. And I said, oh, what was George? I forget his name. And I said to him, why didn't you do a follow up? Because that was so funny. And do you know what he said, Anthony? You know, Rita, Bob, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
Rita, Sue, and Bob too. Do you know what he said to me? The writer and the director died. You know who wrote it?
Yeah.
And the fella who directed it died. Because I said to him, it's a cracking film, that, you know, very underrated. And I said to her, what was his name? I forget his name. Good actor who played Bob. And I said to him, I said, do you know that fella, you know, the drunken fella in it? I said, was he really buried? And he said, no, he was acting. He didn't drink. I said, go away. He said, yeah. I said, oh, he was brilliant, him. He just acted like a drunken man. He was one of the dads and the girls.
Yeah. Remember the scene? Yeah.
I thought he was really buried. I said, was he buried? No. And Phil, house burglars were seen as the lowest of the low. Apparently, shop burglars were okay, though. Just saying. No, you're right.
I think you're bang on right, Phil. I do. When things are hard and people are struggling, the last thing you need is someone to rob your
Set up
house.
your own. Yeah.
And I know that we've been there 3 times.
Oh, myself.
Yeah.
And Willie says, you two gentlemen put me to shame. I'm a massive. Is that? I can't read that. Is that an alky? Oh,
I'll
behave yourself.
behave.
Yeah, you're not an alky. No way. And Paulie says, didn't the judge think that it all sounded fishy? They just want them away because, look,
It's classism as well, isn't it?
when I've done murders, I've got loads of them there. When I've done murders, there was one such barrister, and he was a fella named Oliver. That was his name, you know, Sammy Oliver or someone. And he said he was actually a defence barrister. And he always said anyone behind him who he was defending, there's no smoke without fire. You've only got to look at the Christie case. I only do Liverpool cases, by the way. You've only got to look at the Reginald Christie case. And the prosecutor, that Humphrey Christmas, his name was. And after he was found guilty, Christie, of the murders of that young woman and a child, and Timothy Evans was hanged for it. And he was asked, he said, well, you know, have you got any Have you got anything to say about the hanging of an innocent man? Do you know what he said, Anthony?
No.
He must have had a part in it. He wouldn't hang him otherwise. That's what he said.
Well,
So they don't look. Even the police never, ever, 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 ever admit to a mistake. They never admit to a mistake. They never involve their own. Hence, Mrs. Rimmer's son never admit their own being involved in any criminal activity. It'll be a big dent into the police trustworthiness. Massive dent. And Phil says stranger things have happened. Phil says a friend revealed a murder injustice in Scotland. Panorama made a programme on it. I asked, did he know who did the murder? Yes, but was told by the senior judiciary police he would be. Go away. True. Well, there you go. There you go. Never go against the police people. And Phil says he had forced his way in. Yeah. But he's bound to say that now, isn't he? You know, she's dead on the floor. She's dead on the floor. Obviously, he smashed the window. I went, you know, they must have got through there, whoever it was. And the fingerprints that was found, why didn't they check who they were? They said that they weren't Burns and Devlin's. So, whose were they?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And Karen, such an intriguing story. Shocking it was.
Yeah.
Karen. Glass looks like a cartoon break in the shape of a head and body. It does, doesn't it? Strangely enough. It's shocking, though. Really is shocking. No one heard anything. Screamed. No one. See, obviously he's gone in. He's just walked in. He's gone in there with a key.
Yeah.
You'll always have your mum's key, don't you? You'll always have a key belonging to your mum's house.
Yeah.
And he's gone in there. He must have asked for money or whatever. She said no. And it's the frenzied attack as well. It's the frenzied attack. And no one's seen him leave, by the way. Do you know that?
No. So
no one's seen him leave.
He'd stayed there for a while and then.
Yeah.
But then he had a story, didn't he? He
bashed the door in. See, again, no evidence has come out that she was killed that day. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have killed her the day before.
Yeah.
And got off through the back.
Yeah.
Gone in the front door, bing, killed her. Smashed the window. Got off. Come back the next day, forcing the door in. It's so phony.
Yes.
Phil says Could a secret society allegedly well known being in police in those days, a few of the society on the jury game over? Yeah. The juries, the defence could not accuse the police of any wrongdoing. No, Phil, they couldn't. The Pat. Cedric, you're not meant to announce we snuck. Hang on. Glasses again. Blimey. Cedric, you're not meant to announce we're snuck in the back of the class. We are meant to act like we've been here the whole time.
Yeah. You're okay by us for a pass. It's all right. You didn't break any windows.
Do you know what? I had two elderly gentlemen in my class, right? You know, when I was doing the like local listening classes, you know, they all like joined, you know, these older people. And anyway, they came in late. And I said at the beginning of the class, I said, I'm taking you all out next week. I said, so I'll meet you all by the Western approaches. And they all went, okay, yeah, that's great, that, Frank. You know, the Western approaches,
Yeah, in town, yeah,
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 you know, exchange flags. So
yeah.
anyway, these fellas came in, and genuineness. As they came in, they all sat down, you know, and they went, sorry I'm late, Frank. I said, you're all right, no problem. Anyway, carries on, the end of the class. I said to the class, okay, where are we all meeting next week? And they went, the Western approaches. I said, okay, don't be late. I'll be there 11 o'clock. Okay. So, and I said to them, one of them said, is that a bit early? I said, no. I said, I've got it. I said, look, I've got, you know. So he said, all right. See you there then next week. Thanks, Frank. I said, all right, lads, ta-ra. Gets off. Because they just on their own, they're always talking on their own. They went off on their own. And the following week, like the week after that, rather, you know, after the Western approaches thing, I took them on the class. The following week, they weren't there, the old fellas. And anyway, they came in, and do you know what they said to me? We sat near Western approaches till 12:30 and you never showed up. They went to pub. They went to pub. The Western approaches pub. Know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't. Thanks for a great evening, everyone. Wish you all a very good night, says the Venny. Thank you, Venny.
Thank you, Vinny, and you too.
Cedric says, careful, Frank. Everyone fooled me, to be honest, there, Cedric. Marco Polo, great, he is. Johnny, oh, I didn't know what time it was, so I've missed tonight. Oh, go away, Johnny. It's your own fault. Steve Evo. Hello, all.
Evening, Steve.
The Pat to Cedric. You're going to get us kicked out. He's going to find out we have been going to the boozer between lectures. That's not true. They're two old fellas.
Oh,
Going to the play about John Conte 2 weeks Saturday. Oh, very good, Steve. Is that on the Neptune? I'm not quite so sure. Not quite so sure, mate. This Sunday, I'm off to the Soulless Bowl in Mankland to watch the mighty Reds. Be talking about that on Thursday. To be honest, Steve, that game. Paulie. Good night, everyone. Brilliant evening as always. Thanks, Frank and Anthony. Good night, chat.
good night, Paulie. Thank you.
And Phil says, Ken Dodd's case, thank God for the justice system. Yeah. That's a finish here, boys. Steve Mulholland. Sorry, Frank. I was at a gig tonight in the Jacaranda to see female Welsh singer Ches Kane. But the town was full of Scotland supporters. Yeah. I tell you what, I was on YouTube and, the last few days,
Yeah.
do you know Cooper's is shown live? Mad. Cooper's shown live on YouTube.
Wow.
And they're singing. And you want to see so. God bless our mums, says Phil. Yes. Not a true word there. And dads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve Mulholland. That will explain what a great city we are. Yes. Bang on there, Stephen, the old mate. Stay. Frankie's dodgy bins not working. Worse than Mr. Magoo. See, you missed it, mate. You missed the start of the show. Got a tooth missing, mate. Frank just realised why I enjoy the show. Conversation and the art of conversation is dying in many ways. Of course it is.
Yes.
Of course it is. Frank just, honestly, it has. The art of conversation's well done.
Yeah, it's almost banned.
Listening to stuff, yeah. There's Cedric Owen. He should be in Hollywood's in with a name like that.
Absolutely.
Or at the Royal Court, on stage, starring with Drew Schofield.
Yeah, not in that place at the moment.
No, and John McArdle. There's a thing coming on with John McArdle,
Yeah.
and Sue Johnston up in. It's a night. It's a chat with those two to an audience.
Okay. Is it at the Shakespeare?
Sorry,
Is it at the Shakespeare North?
it is.
Yeah.
And there it is. I forgot to ask Jason to put it on, but I will when he's home.
Yeah.
It'll be a great night. I'll tell him to put it on.
Yeah.
There's John and Sue.
Yeah.
And it's at the Shakespeare Theatre. It's just an evening with them. And John is a lovely fella. Love the bones of him. And Sue Johnston's a lovely, lovely lady. And Lauren. I didn't know you asked me. In literature, I'm studying The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret. The Handmaid's Tale. Oh, yeah. Never done it. Sorry. I'm sorry. Never done it, Laura. Sorry, I can't help you there. Thanks for all you do, Frank and Anthony. It's always a pleasure, says Ripper. Thank you, Ripper. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Really do, don't we? Appreciate that, Anthony.
We do. Yeah, yeah.
And Steve says the Royal Court, Francis. Is that the Royal Court, is it? Oh, yeah, do that, stay, please. Do that. We'll be in touch about Hillsborough banner being displayed again, Frank. When I was doing a pod last week, I've got to tell you, Steve, some blue nose came on. Some blue nose. You know, I was doing it live, as you know. And he called us murderers. Murderers, he called us, Steve. That's why I'm only doing one podcast and a watch along. I don't want anything like that. And Phil says, good show, thanks, and good night all, says Phil. Thank you, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Good night, mate.
And lovely Lauren. Don't worry, Frankie. Don't worry, Frankie. It's not a very nice book. I could tell you, if you're doing Shakespeare, I'll help you with that. Especially Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello. Any of those three. Specialist at those three. Stay. Good night, y'all. See you soon, Frank. Stay, yeah, give us a ring, mate, please. Let us know what's going on, especially about the banner. Especially about the banner, Stay. Thank you. You're a good man. And did Macbeth at GCSE? Yeah, GCSE, but it's totally different at A level. You get the underbelly of it. You'd enjoy it. If you're ever doing it at A level, you know, at least you've got the experience of GCSE, so you know what the story's all about. But at A level, it's a different level from GCSE. I'm being honest, I think A levels, which I did, is much tougher than the degree courses when you go to university, because you've got to get it spot on and well in anything. I'm doing Hamlet for my A level. Brilliant. Hamlet's absolutely brilliant. Intrigue. Is that, Lauren? Hamlet? Murder. Most foul. I don't know whether I can say this to you, but, you know, there's underlying themes of incest within it. But that's for it. Until Max, I was asking about him. Okay. Lauren. So on that wonderful note, I've just got to thank these wonderful people. Got
Yes.
patent services. And get them in, please. If you know an elderly couple or an elderly person on their own and they're wanting to decorate, please tell them to get these in, or you get them in for them, and they'll get a special discount. And if you know any, honestly, if you know any wonderful NHS workers, please get them in too. And if you know any dentists who fix me tooth, give me the phone number. And that's Got Patent Services, sponsors of the shows. Laura says, I have 2 weeks off for Easter, so I'm trying to get ahead before my year 12 mocks. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah. Use your time wisely.
Yeah, absolutely. Our little Donna said, I'm going now. I'm really sad I missed tonight. Good night, Frank. Good night, Anthony. Good night, all.
Well, you get us on catch up, Donna. We're never too far away.
Look, the art's for me, as you know. All the kisses that the girls put up and all the hearts are for me.
Oh, of course they are, yeah. You're sounding
And
like
if,
Trump now.
and if any fellas put any hearts up and kisses, they're all for you. Look at that. See, you've got me laughing though. I'm not laughing anymore. Dude, can't get over it. On that team doesn't sound good. No, it doesn't. Oh. And good night, Frankie and Anthony, says Laura.
Good night, Lauren. Happy studying, but remember to enjoy your time as well.
And chat.
And chat.
I've gone off, Lauren. Gone off at big time.
Behave yourself, you haven't.
I have. Look, hearts for Anthony too.
Oh, well, I can't argue with that. Thank you, Lauren.
I can. Feel alone now. I think she's gone off me because of me tooth. I think John has gone off me because of me tooth. And our Italian ladies have gone all the ladies have gone off me.
No
So
one
I'm going to be a recluse from now on. Oh, blimey.
You'll have to eat a donut instead now.
I wouldn't mind that actually.
So, are we joining forces tomorrow to conquer the world, or you're going to have a day off with your tooth?
Do you mind can I give you oh no, it's too late.
Give us a ring or text anytime tomorrow. From this, I'm probably just going to go put my head down.
Well, see what you're doing. I know you're working with the, whether it's bad. Well, you don't work in bad light.
I do.
That's where you're working, you know what I mean?
Yeah, on the system.
The best thing to do, I've got to go out tomorrow.
Yeah.
What day is it?
Wednesday tomorrow. Tuesday today, yeah. Well, do your stuff tomorrow, and then we'll meet up Monday. Because I know
No, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
you've got a full one Thursday, haven't you? And then Friday.
But what if I ask you to do a show tomorrow?
That's fine. I'm here. You know, I'll
Okay.
put, I'll put down my bucket of paint, and then
All
I'm
right.
with you.
Well, you pocket of paint. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do here. I'll surprise you what we'll do tomorrow. But
Okay,
it'll be good. Is that all right?
that's fab. Yeah,
Okay. We might even do a bit of literature for our little Lauren.
there you go. Yeah, yeah. Well, me three.
Jonathan, Jonathan, Frank, that's toothless or not, says.
Oh, there you go. There's the heart. Yeah.
But listen to this, gets worse to Johnny. Yes, my granddad has dentures and I love them lots. I
There you
haven't got dentures. They're on my teeth. Except I
we
pulled out. She missed what had happened to me.
take a break. Have a Kit Kat.
There you go.
Oh,
Wait till our Francine sees me, Anthony, tomorrow. Then I'll give her a big smile.
oh.
My granddad's got dentures and I love him very much. What's the
That's
same? Full of dentures. Got a couple of fillings, like. That's about it. Please do tomorrow. Okay,
done.
John, do it for you. So Anthony and myself will be with you tomorrow. How's that, Anthony?
Yep, be the three of us.
Okay. I'll tell you, Anthony, I'll have to give you a ring about 10 o'clock. Is that okay?
I'm
Tonight,
pushing it. Yeah, what time we on now?
quarter
10,
to.
quarter to. Yeah, okay, Frank. Yeah,
Is that all right? Only
yeah,
about tomorrow, to be honest.
yeah. All right, mate.
Well, I said, Frankie, I met my granddad has no teeth. That's what you thought I hadn't. Lauren, gone off yet. Johnny, thank you.
Thank you.
Informative as ever. I tell you what, it's difficult, me talking with this. It's coming out like that, Andy. Informative as ever. See you tomorrow. Thank you, gentlemen. No, thank you, Barry.
Cheers, Barry. Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
See you
And on
tomorrow.
that wonderful note, Anthony, who do we have to thank?
Oh, we have to thank our wonderful, absolutely blinding, our chatters, our chat family, for all the prompts and turns and turn left at the lights, and we go where the music takes us.
Yes, I like that. It's easier. And as Shakespeare said, if music be the food of love, play on.
Play on. I love that. I love that,
Play
Leo.
on. And on that wonderful note, see you all tomorrow, my wonderful people. And
Yeah.
as Anthony said, without you lot, there'd be
No,
no shows.
no
Okay,
show. No show, Frank.
no show whatsoever. And hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow. And I think Lauren, I think she'll go run down, see her granddad and say, Granddad, do me a favour. Have you got an extra set of teeth
Yes.
to send Frank? I can't believe it. But he says, by the way, Frank, what do you think of Macca's new sock? You're going to get your little leg kicked in. And Lauren says, Frankie, you might get a visit from the tooth fairy.
Oh,
Lauren, I watched a film and it was about a tooth fairy. But this tooth fairy was a murderer.
you don't want that visiting.
So, Frank. And on that wonderful note, I'm going to leave it on that Lauren Bianchi's one because I think it's so sweet. Soz Frank, as Barry says, Soz Frank. There's the red goals. Red goals. Yeah, I tried to answer here on my pod that I did, the recorded one. I've done one for tomorrow, by the way. But I tried to answer here about red goals. What Leo Tolstoy said, history be a wonderful thing if it was true. And it's all about, as your little, a little side thing, when you said about propaganda, it's just full of it. It's just full of what you read. Say everything is written more or less by the victors. I had a fantastic thing about the First World War, and it was written by, believe it or not, a neutral general from Switzerland, and he gave both accounts, the British and the Germans, First World War, and it was brilliant. I've got a book here. I don't know where it is now. I think it's in my living room. And it's a fantastic book that tells you about propaganda. So, red goals. I'm finishing now. And Lauren says, good night, family. I think that's lovely, that.
That is
Isn't
lovely.
it, by little Lauren?
Absolutely,
So,
two hearts, both colours.
so listen, and they'll give you the ring. Have to be. The truth is the first casualty of war. Wow, you've only got to look at Trump now, haven't you? Absolutely spot on there. See how good these people are.
Yeah.
Well educated.
Yeah.
The Nazi gold was kept in Switzerland. Can you trust what they say? Well, this is the First World War. The Nazi gold was really from the Second World War. And it was written at the time as well, red golds. But then again, today they're known as the gnomes of Zurich, the bankers. And no, they're not trusted, if you know what I mean, especially with what's going on today. They said that they were neutrality, yet they came out and supported Ukraine. You don't do that if you're a neutral country.
No.
So they broke the neutrality.
No.
And supported, obviously, Zelensky. Where's he got his money? Where's he got his money? Where's all these billions he's got? It's in Zurich. It's in the banks in Zurich. Never be sorry, red golds, mate. Never be sorry, because you're so right. Listen, I've got to go. I've got to phone my good friend here. I've got to put forward something about tomorrow. I've got to make myself a cup of tea. Jason was in here. sloped away somewhere, didn't he, Anthony?
I think he's gone the pub, hasn't he? Get around him.
Yeah.
Or could be asleep.
Yeah, it's out there, like, I think he's gone out. And the poet says, Sweden joined NATO after being neutral for years divorced. Like Finland. Finland. We want to join NATO. You know why, don't you? You've only got to look at Greenland. You've only got to look at Iceland because Iceland was threatened too, unbeknown to people. And what's next to Iceland? Finland. There you have it, they're right on the tundra. And they were afraid you better get, I'd say they believe everything. Russia's going to take over the world. This is what they want you to believe in. Someone pressurising them behind the scenes. I'm sorry, I've got to go. Listen, we'll talk about everything, poets, on Friday night. Friday night. And we'll talk all about that. But what we will do, we'll be doing a conspiracy theory as well, which is good. And on that note, Anthony, I'll speak to you in a moment or two. To all my friends out there, to all my friends, all you lovely people, thank you so much for keeping Anthony and myself company.
Absolutely.
And the poets, good night, lads. Good night, poets. You're a good man. Everyone is. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much from Anthony and myself. Honestly, you're a good people. Adamani, as they say. Adamani, as the Red Gold says. Good night, sir. I'm finishing now. Good night. Here's the outro. Ciao, everybody. Adamani.